All right, what is up, real life traders and traders from YouTube and around the world? It's Robert Falco with another Friday stock review. We have another week behind us. It started off a little bit bearish. A lot of folks thought, hey, this is it. We're going to zero, or we're going to have some massive pullback. We did have a slight correction. Anything under or over 5%. Considered a correction, and we traded down about 5.6% from the all-time high this week, but we closed really solid on Monday. A lot of buying into the close. We retested that close a couple times, and we ended up bouncing and continuing higher. So that could be it, team. We don't have to go lower. If we end up double bottoming down into here somewhere and bounce out, that would be cool. But that doesn't have to happen. You know, if we gap up on Monday, we could just continue. So first time we hit the 100 on the SPY almost in a year. You also had the infamous moon phase fire. So we had the harvest full moon on Monday night, and that marked a little bit of a short-term bottom. And if you sold on the new moon and bought on the full moon, man, you're looking good. I don't want to give away all my secrets. Got to make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Go check us out at reallifetrading.com if you want to know more about the moon phase. Everything works, just not all the time. But it's amazing how often the moon phase does work. So SPY closed right on top of the 20, above the 50 EMA and the 10 EMA. And then again, bounced off the 100. Really nicely. Let's go over to the Qs. The Qs did not pull into the 100, unfortunately, but we did go below the 50. Look at this nice little, I wish I had good arrows on here, like in Zoom. Look at that little inside bear candle right below the 50, closed above it the very next day. I mean, that looks just absolutely great. And then a gap up. Again, here's the weekly. It looks like a great hammer candle to me. I would love us to come back in and retest this old all-time high, but that doesn't have to happen. We're looking pretty bullish out there, the way that we closed the last couple days. So we'll see if we have continuation higher. And if we do, pull back into 358 or so on the Qs, I think it's plenty viable. If that does happen, the Dow also went through the 100, didn't quite get to the 200, but tested this horizontal support zone very nicely. Ended up bouncing, closed back above the 100 yesterday and today. So yeah, still looks bullish out there, team. Tesla, here's the Tesla machine. Let me go ahead and just hide these lines here. Let's hide drawings as well. So you can see a fantastic bullish engulfing candle on Tesla. I know we talked about this one last week after, we had already been in a swing trade that we set up. If you want to join our swing trade room, you'd have been in that swing trade as well. It did have a pullback, so you did get a chance if you watched some of those other reviews and decided to get in on this little dip. Great indecision yesterday. And then today we did gap down and we got bought up like crazy. This thing ran pretty much all day long. So what I'm thinking on Tesla, the last candle that looks like this kind of looks like this candle over here. So I'm guessing we could gap up on Monday into this resistance and then maybe a little bit of selling. I would look to take a little bit of profits there, depending on if you're in short term, long term, etc. If you're in longer term, you could just trim a little bit, trail your stop, maybe sell some calls up around, I don't know, 820 to 860, something like that. Probably has some good premium out there. But Tesla looks strong. Look at this weekly. Look at that weekly hammer. We broke outside of it. This is our highest close since February. Because there was no closes. There was no closes up in this area. This is our highest close since this close over here. So that's February 19th. That's when, the SPAC bubble exploded, growth stocks imploded, etc. This is the highest close since then on Tesla. So Tesla could have some continuation. So be on the lookout to get in bullish if you're not already in on pullbacks on the Tesla machine. Here is Salesforce CRM, got some upgrades. They upgraded their outlook. Very nice gap and go the other day, and super solid candle. I did enter a collar on this, so October 290, which is actually closer than I thought this was going to end up being after the follow through today. And then I also have a long put at 265. My average is down around here in this like 219 area as I was accumulating this. So sometimes, you have to wait a few months. But yeah, Salesforce looks great. Here's a nice little fib extension. And we're trading right up into that. If we do get a chance to pull back down, I think I can get out of this covered call for a small win. I'll probably keep the long put and then see if Salesforce can rotate higher. But Salesforce looks strong, team. I would look to buy on the dip. We got some requests for Upstart. I mean, this gap last earnings, gap and go, hammer candle, and just never looked back. This thing is up. Let's see. I'll even count from the close. From the close after earnings, this thing's up like 93%. At one point, was up 102% just since last earnings, August 10th. Absolutely amazing. At this point, you really want to make sure that you are locking in gains. Just my opinion, not a financial advisor. But I would be selling some calls, buying some puts, throwing some collars on, protecting, collect and protect those gains, and make sure that you're not giving a bunch of gains back on Upstart. But it looks really, really good. The trend is your friend until the bend in the end. But this is still going. Take a look at our Momo strategy. Momo was long there on the daily. Let's go back on the 78 minute. When did Momo get long on this bad boy? Same thing, even after earnings, you were long there to here, and then a little bit of a shakeout, and then long again. Yeah, Upstart looks great. Nike, big old gap down today. It was a gap and go. We did trade into this gap, and you have a lot of volume here on Nike. So the last volume that was this high was the prior earnings, and before that was all the way down here. If we get back above today's candle, this thing could just go higher. I know a lot of people are looking like, okay, this gap's going to fill now. It may, but it also might not. I think they have like $7 billion worth of inventory floating around in cargo ships in the ocean, just waiting to be offloaded and probably bought up for the holiday season. So I would like to see one or two inside days and then look to take Nike higher on a breakout. And if it breaks down, then you don't get in. But if we do get one or two inside days and then we break out to the upside, I think Nike's going to go higher. So look to buy the dip on that one. Just my opinion. We're right between the 100 and the 200 out there on Nike. Costco, absolutely dominating. Look at this pennant pattern that this thing put in here. Let's go ahead and draw it with this. Granted, this was into earnings down here, so I don't know if you would have been playing it over earnings, but if you did, cute gap today and continued to run highest close ever on Costco. So this one is dip buyable and is probably going to continue higher. With inflation rampaging, guess what they get to do? They get to mark up prices, or they just get to put the same amount of stuff, the same price on packages that are just a little bit smaller. So maybe you get like one less roll of toilet paper, or 50 less tissues, or 8 ounces less cereal. That's how they hide inflation, with package shrinkage. And Costco is a beneficiary of that because they get to pass that cost right on to the consumer. And you can see this thing is just rampage Jackson higher, and it looks like it's going to continue. So short-term swing trades, definitely buy the dip on Costco. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. Again, don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Go over to reallifetrading.com. Check us out over there. Comment down below what stocks you would like us to look at for next week. And love life, live life, trade it. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks so much.